What's going on, guys? This is the Red Rogue, and today we'll be taking a bit of a look into the playstyle, toolkit, and feel of Subtlety rogues in Shadowlands dungeons. Now, bear in mind that true damage numbers are still very much up in the air, but I should be able to give you a pretty good idea of what Subtlety will excel at in dungeon environments. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, Subtlety, the exceptionally neglected third spec of Rogue, at least in regards to how it was treated in Battle for Azeroth. I've already covered the changes made thus far with Subtlety in a couple videos, so if you're interested in a breakdown of it, I'll link the first of them on screen. Since that video was made, we did receive our mystery talent in the form of premeditation, but yeah, it's definitely there now, alright, yep. Oh, and we did get wound poison finally, so that's kinda cool. Firstly, I had a couple things I wanted to mention before we get into the video. 1. This is still beta footage and information, and there are still a lot of things not working entirely correctly with the spec. There are also instances of overtuned/broken legendaries on the beta as of now, so I will intentionally be avoiding them. For all footage in this video, I used the Mark of the Master Assassin legendary, which is generally considered a good, safe, all-around choice for all three rogue specs. So this should give a pretty good idea of what most people will probably want to run in the beginning until we get exact numbers and data showing how good or bad the other legendaries are for the rogue class. And secondly, I'm going to be trying something slightly different with this video and probably future videos unless I hear comments otherwise. For those of you who normally watch my videos, you know I have all my armies of Shibas that pop up with information and an expression and all that good stuff when they show up. Well, I usually only put that text on screen because it's things I forgot to mention while writing my script, or recording, or getting footage for. So for future videos, I will be leaving a reminder early in the video that there will most likely be a comment pinned where I'll add any extra information or thoughts I had regarding the topic of the video. My army of Shibas will make their appearances in the video, so don't worry about that. They will most likely just be used as like a personal emoticon emoji type system for when I'm explaining things and how I'm feeling about what I'm talking about. Okay, sorry for the exposition. I just wanted to get that out in the open so you guys were aware of the whole video process and editing things, so you knew what was going on when you see that things aren't quite the same in the future. So, as a lot of folks have seen as of late, if they've been keeping up with people streaming or talking about the beta, Subtlety seems to be making a very strong comeback from its Battle for Azeroth iteration when moving into Shadowlands. So I felt it'd be appropriate to cover how the spec feels and plays in dungeons. I'll try to point out the strengths and weaknesses as needed for the spec and just how it functions fundamentally. A quick recap for the basic playstyle of Subtlety. Subtlety focuses heavily on damage windows via the spec-specific cooldown Shadow Dance. This move allows Subtlety rogues to use any of their moves that require stealth for 8 seconds, and the cooldown of Shadow Dance is reduced by spending combo points, much like how Restless Blades works for Outlaw. Subtlety is very proficient at using their area of effect combo point generator, Shuriken Storm, to fuel their single target damage, which can be exceptionally important when a vital target needs to be nuked down. Subtlety has been given a new AOE finishing move in the ability Shadow Vault. However, this move has a few quirks and/or bugs in it at the moment. It does pretty low damage currently as it does not scale with mastery, unlike other finishing moves. However, the bonus shadow damage that it does currently is just a flat amount regardless of combo points spent for some reason. It also locks your movement for the duration of the cast, which can be very jarring and potentially detrimental if you are in the middle of avoiding a mechanic, or if an ad pack is being moved away while you're damaging it, causing you to lose DPS. This is hopefully an unintentional design choice, as it has been reported on numerous occasions and commented on in the forums that it's not a very good feeling way for the move to operate. Subtlety has also seen the return of Rupture, a potent bleed-based finishing move to help allow for damage over time uptime while moving and dealing with mechanics. Subtlety performs very strongly in boss damage, and it's good in normal-sized trash packs, which is generally between 3 to 6 targets in most dungeons I've seen. This is mainly due to the AoE cap on most moves in the game going forward into Shadowlands, resulting in generally smaller trash pulls than what we're used to seeing in Battle for Azeroth. For Season 1 of Shadowlands Mythic Plus, teaming has been retired from the rotation due to the addition of several new affixes, which I'll be doing a video on in the future after testing them a little bit. Due to these changes in trash pack sizes, Subtlety's greatest strength might not be immediately obvious. Larger trash pulls will benefit Subtlety far more than any other spec of Rogue, and for a couple reasons. Outlaw's main bread and butter of AOE, Blade Flurry, is target capped at 5. Assassination's Fan of Knives AOE combo point generator is target capped at 8, like Shuriken Storm. However, this is a bigger issue for Assassination, as the only way to get large amounts of combo points from a Fan of Knives cast is for the hits to be critical, due to the Seal Fate passive. Meaning, invariably, without exceptionally high crit or the Master Assassin Legendary, it will be generating a lot less combo points for each cast of Fan of Knives than Subtlety will for Shuriken Storm. This is because Shuriken Storm always receives combo points for every target hit, whether or not it's a critical or not. What this means, though, is that Subtlety will excel in scenarios where there are more than 5 targets, which might not be something all groups are willing to do, but for groups that are trying to push keys and trying to push as much damage out as possible, this will be very beneficial. While Subtlety only has one big cooldown in the form of Shadow Blades, its ability to use Shadow Dance and Symbols of Death on a very consistent basis results in strong bursts of damage, giving very strong AoE and very strong single target as long as it's played optimally. The largest detriment to Subtlety would probably be the skill requirement behind it, as you need to maximize your damage every time you use Shadow Dance. It's definitely not the first spec I'd recommend if you were just starting out as a rogue, however, it is one that is very rewarding when played well. Oh, and make sure to have a macro for when you're casting Shadow Dance, because it's not on the GCD, and if you're running the Enveloping Shadows talent, then you might accidentally spam click and burn through 2 charges of Shadow Dance, which really sucks, and will make you feel like a dingus. Not that I would know this firsthand, or that I've done this multiple times, but yeah, definitely get a macro for casting Shadow Dance. Ideally, you might need a couple different macros, but at the very least, I would get one for Shadow Dance plus Shadow Strike, and then one for just Shadow Dance. I'll probably throw one in that pinned comment that will most likely be in the comment section of this video because I'm a hamster brain and forget things really often. Granted, I'm just dusting off this spec after not touching it for nearly 3 years, so your mileage may vary on this aspect of Subtlety. Subtlety has gone through a lot of high and low points in the last couple expansions, but if current testing is anything to go off of, then it looks like we may finally see the return of Subtlety being a very strong, potentially the strongest spec of the 3. Tuning is a very big thing to keep an eye on, so it's entirely possible this will change, as well as legendaries and moves not working quite the way they should in both positive and negative ways. However, it's definitely looking like a very promising start thus far. I hope you folks enjoyed the video. If so, I'd sincerely appreciate any likes, comments, or subscribes if you're feeling saucy. If you're new around to my corner of the YouTube algorithm, I'd like to welcome you to check out the rest of the channel. I do new uploads every weekday and cover a variety of content, as well as a healthy portion of rogue-related goodies. I recently set up a Patreon to help fuel the Shiba shenanigans I put together for the channel, so any help is infinitely appreciated but is not expected. And I nearly forgot to mention that this week was the channel's 4th month of being around on this great big online world that is YouTube. And for that, I just wanted to say it's been an awesome start to the channel, and I'm truly grateful to have found folks like you who are interested in the videos and stuff I put up. Pretty crazy to already be over 2,000 subscribers this early in, and it has started going up faster every week, which is just really awesome. Anyway, sorry, that's enough rambling from me for one day. Thank you all so much for watching. This is the Red Rogue, and I'll see you guys around.